Pepper says, are you ready to start some decluttering in this laundry room? I know I am. For today, I'm going to change it up a little bit because I had noticed that this laundry room started gathering clutter around the door, and a deep-rooted subconscious habit started rearing its head again. And I wanted to make sure that we are breaking this pattern.
Hello everyone. So as we are decluttering the area in front of the door and down the sides here, I want to talk about how do you break these deep-rooted subconscious habits. Sometimes the clutter seems to come back in and trickle in, and you think that you got a great grasp on it, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a minute, why is there a pile in front of the door? I thought I nipped that habit. So I'm going to help you kind of jump over that hurdle and give you tips and tricks that really worked for me to continue this decluttering habit. So if you're really feeling stuck, if you're really feeling frustrated, like, why can't I get this? First, I want to share with all of you that if you are conscious that the habit, the clutter, the stuff, whatever it may be, has come back, that you're trying to change, to know that you're already breaking the habit because now you are conscious of it. For years, I had such clutter blindness, fog. I didn't even recognize the messes. I now recognize that this smaller pile is clutter coming back, and I don't want it to come back. And that's when I realized that I'm already in the solution. And sometimes breaking a deep-rooted habit is a long game. We're playing the long game to heal this. With hoarding disorder, this is an umbrella of behaviors that we're changing. All the different areas of saving stuff for this reason, having clutter in front of the door, having goat trails up and down the rooms. This is an umbrella of behaviors and habits that we're changing. So if we think we can change it all overnight, that's not a realistic goal for us. We need to realize that this is a journey and where we're at, because years ago, this was completely hoarded and it never bothered me. Now we have a small pile in front of the door and it's bothering me. This is the progression forward that we're taking. Because I don't want you to get stuck in a negative self-talk reflection where you're like, oh, see, I can't do it. It came back. I failed. I'm not any good at this, because that's when you failed. That's when you're not changing the habit. Once that negative self-talk comes in, now you may still have the negative self-talk, but you're going to have to talk yourself through it in the sense of, it's all right. It's okay. It came back. I have more room for growth. I have more room to change. I have more room to ease my nervous system to recognize that I want to declutter. I want this in my home. I don't want to continue in these subconscious behaviors because it doesn't serve me anymore. I feel good when I declutter and let go and take the next step to change this habit.
Now, as Pepper helps me declutter, I wanted to point out that in the laundry room, I'm putting things back immediately, and I'm also throwing them out immediately. So there's not going to be a tossy pile in the end. What I'm noticing in these bins in the laundry room is that they're a mix of tossy piles and a mix of keep piles. And hubby doesn't know which ones to keep, which ones to throw away. So he leaves it there because he doesn't want to upset me and throw something out that I'm not ready to let go of. So that's why we're focusing on completing these tasks right away. Which leads me to our next step, and that is taking action. We're aware of the habit. We're setting a realistic goal for ourselves. We're working through and breaking those negative emotions. So now we're going to take the action steps. We're going to have positive self-talk. That way we're regulating the nervous system and not sounding all the alarms. We're reconditioning the nervous system that we are still safe if we declutter. We are still safe if we let this go. So now we took the action, we completed the task, and we feel really good about it. We opened up another space. Now what? Well, now it is time for a reward. That is number 5. After you accomplish the goal, make sure you give yourself a reward. Now, my reward was very unique because I was creating these videos expressing my hoarding disorder. But every time I did a video and cleared out a section, my reward was all of you leaving loving, encouraging messages to me. It felt so wonderful. It made me feel like I wasn't alone in this and that I was surrounded by loving people who understood what I was going through. And you guys cheered me on, and it meant so much to my heart because sometimes I had struggled in believing that I could do this. But your belief in me carried me through those negative emotions and thoughts. And I knew that, no, if they believe in me, then I can believe in myself too. And that was the greatest reward I could ever be given. So it's very important for you guys to have a reward system too. And I definitely suggest having an accountability partner so that they can cheer you on in your progress too. And because of all the positive reinforcement I received after I decluttered, it motivated me to declutter again, making it a weekly routine. And that is the next step, creating a new routine. By receiving a reward every time or reinforcing a desirable behavior, this will increase the likelihood of repeating that behavior again in the future, creating a new routine. It's that consistency that rewires the nervous system that we like what we're doing. We're happy when we're doing this, and we are still safe if we continue to do this. By doing this over and over again, this keeps my nervous system regulated and registering it to say, hey, I like this. Let's do this again. And then you just continue the cycle. You're aware that you're changing a habit. You're setting realistic goals for yourself. You're breaking through those negative emotional thoughts. You're taking action and feeling good and rewarding yourself, making it a continuous routine. And the last one is the most important, and that is to believe in yourself, to believe that you can do this. When I started this channel, I wasn't sure if I could really do it, but as we started getting into the habit, I started breaking limiting beliefs. I started practicing self-love and self-grace. I started changing my thoughts, which started to change my behaviors. And those new behaviors started becoming a personality trait over time. And now I'm able to declutter on a larger and grander scale. I can make so much faster decisions. And that's how I started changing a subconscious habit. There's no more clutter in front of the door. And there's no more clutter down the aisle, which creates goat trails that is very common in hoarding disorder. This takes time. This takes baby steps. And sure, I'd like to reorganize this too. I have a great idea on what I would like to do with it. But again, I'm going to allow myself that grace of time and be in the moment that we did it and we're doing it. We are continuously changing a habit. We're continuously making that progress forward, reaching our goals, continuing down my road of recovery in hoarding disorder, and completely changing a mental disorder that I struggled with my whole life. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and let something go in your home today too.
You're trying to change your long game.